But no, I adore it. It was kind of, when I started acting when I was 12, which is strangely 20 years ago, one of the first gigs I had was in dubbing, and dubbing shows from France into English in Montreal. And if you can do dubbing, you can do any of it. Dubbing is about as thankless and labor intensive as voice acting gets, and so this is just a dream. And I love it because, like, I have a pretty, overactive imagination. I'm a chronic daydreamer, and being in that booth, that's what's required, because there's no actual dragons in front of me, nor anywhere in the world, I suspect. And so yeah, no, it just kind of caters to what I love to do. And also at this point, I don't know how many years I've been working with him. I was seven, yeah. We just kind of have a shorthand, and I much prefer to take notes from him than most people.
It's also, one thing to say about Jay, he's one of those actors that embodies the character so well that he's an authority upon it. I'll write lines that are in the neighborhood, and Jay will often he'll do one or two passages of that, and then he'll just give me the line that's perfect because it's in character, it's better than I had written, and the ad-libs have so much more life to them as well. So. Well, yeah, you're going to see.
Wait a second, you know exactly how many dragon geniuses we tracked in the first room? That's wow. No, I wasn't giving a shit. I'm impressed. The man was like, how come I don't know that?
We've definitely, so we have a group of dragons that were designed to kind of fill the spaces because Volca has a dragon sanctuary filled with dragons she's rescued. And we actually came up with a modular system where we could pair different heads with different bodies, wings, tails, and come up with endless varieties that way. So they are the background, in a sense, that create this thousands of new dragons. But featured, there are probably, I think, about the same amount of new dragons that have hero moments that are really well rigged and really well thought out, that are hopefully every bit as surprising as the other ones, if not more so.
You mean you guys actors? Oh, okay, yeah. Could be two of us. I think on this one I was only ever in the same room as another actor once. But here's the thing: it's like this is a fairly international cast and a really big cast, and so some of us are in Australia, some of us are in Canada, some of us are in the States, different parts of the States, and so it's one of the cool things about it being voice acting is that doesn't step in the way of things. We can still find a way to create and record together and all that stuff. But for me, it's usually in isolation. Yeah.
It's nice when we can get actors together because you can let them run the scene and step on each other's lines and sometimes go off script if it feels right. So I think the voice acting in animation is probably the only spontaneous element. Everything else is so meticulously planned and executed and happens over the course of several years. So I encourage it whenever I can, just to have characters either have actors interact or in the case of Jay, go off script if it feels right to do so. Because oftentimes that's the material in a piece of media.
I would like another question.
You don't have to.
We have more time, and anyone have any additional questions? Go ahead.
In animation, we always record the voice actors first, and then the animators get a breakdown of those lines down to the vowel and the consonants, so they know what to make for the mouth shapes. So it doesn't really affect the animation. Sometimes, however, late notes that might come in, we end up re-recording, and then the animators have to go back and adjust. Sure. the scope gets really big in this movie, and what Hiccup discovers while he's out mapping the world is that there's a brewing conflict. That conflict being incited by a very ambitious conqueror who's looking to build a dragon army. And he's played by Jaimin Hunsu. His name is Drago Blodfist. And Drago Blodfist employs dragon trappers. One of the best dragon trappers, the self-declared greatest dragon trapper of all, is Eret, son of Eret, played by Kit Harington. And he's a guy with some misplaced loyalty, but sort of panned him out throughout the movie. And then the third character who I've made mention of is Hiccup's long-lost mother, who is played by Kate Blanchett. And she's kind of waging a one-woman war against Drago's ambitions by actually rescuing those dragons and whisking them back to the sanctuary where she mends them back to health.
Because you haven't left your character this entire time, how much input do you get to give towards maybe his reactions or things like that? Do you get to give more input now that you're related for so long?
I'd like to think so, but I really have no idea. I mean, they might just be humoring me, do you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, sure, go, do that one, yeah, whatever, they won't use it. But no, I'll say that I argue a lot, no, not a lot, but I just sort of like I adore that character, and I'd like to think I'm one of the people that knows him the best. Call me old-fashioned. And so, yeah, that's kind of one of the nice things is that, like, we've been at this together for a while now, and so it's kind of like, I don't know, it's just a beautiful collaboration, and if nothing else, they allow me to chime in. So,
it's absolutely true. I think Hiccup is so similar to Jay in so many ways that when Jay has an opinion about the character, what he would say, what he wouldn't say, or how he might say it, I give up the fight because I know I may have heard it a certain way in my head, but that's me second guessing him. And he's the greatest authority on the character, so I try to get it in the neighborhood and he takes it home.
Hi, I'm Mark from Medic Radio. What's the plan for the franchise going forward? Spin-offs?
Well, I know that they're preparing for a third season. I don't know if it's been greenlit yet, but the idea of the third season would actually begin to set up the second movie. So that's the beauty of it. They've done 2 seasons that were intentionally not stepping on our toes in terms of the surprises and reveals that we have. Now that the second movie will be out there, then the third season that would follow it could get a little closer to the setups of those things, and yeah, hopefully create a seamless narrative. I know that there's been quite a lot of talk about expanding the world with different novels and young adult novels that would kind of explore different characters and different backstories, and so that's all yet to come. I know the general idea is out there, and it's a big ambition. We want to keep developing the world and just make it go as far as we can. But specifics I'm not that aware of.
One final question from my friend.
Do you voice the character in this movie, like perhaps a dragon seeker or a hapless Viking or anything?
No. I do a lot of the temporary voicing. In fact, I'm the temporary voice of Hiccup until Jay comes in. It's horrible and embarrassing. I'd never let any of you hear it. I'm not an actor, and I'm very happy to hand it over. But it's just a necessary.
it makes my life wonderful. I look forward to it so much. His temp work in the script.
See? That's exactly
The
why.
reason I get up in the morning, are you kidding me? Because he kind of sometimes tries to do a little impression and everything. It's the best. Thanks for having us.